Hi guys, and welcome to the first ever Big Farm TV broadcast. I'm Daniel, Community Manager with Big Farm, and here with me is Dennis, the Executive Producer. So just to go through kind of what the stream is all about and why we're doing this, it's basically just to give you guys a bit more feedback on things that have been happening lately, things that are going to be coming up in the future, and things that you can look forward to. Just a bit more detail for you. It's a nice kind of direct way to do it, we think. And yeah, again, it's the first time we've ever done this. So yeah, it'd be great if we could get some feedback on it afterwards, if you liked this kind of thing, if you want to see more of this kind of thing and what you want to see. So yeah, let's get kicked off. Dennis, tell us a little bit about you and what you do on the Big Farm team.
Don't have to do the same pace as you do. I can't speak that fast as he does. Well, hi, I'm Dennis. I'm the executive producer of Big Farm. I'm taking care of the game already, like, I think 3 years now. So everything that kind of happened, you can kind of blame me about it. And I will try to tell you a little bit about the general situation we have in the game, what happened in the last couple of months, and what's going to happen in the next couple of months. So should I just jump into it?
Yeah. Should we jump in? Do you want to talk about the outage yesterday?
Yeah, I think I will go a little bit further back before I talk about specific topics. Well, there shouldn't be any excuses. I just want to give you some background why things happen, because in general I feel really bad about the bugs and the problems that we caused in the last couple of weeks and months, and I hoped it would have worked better, and I really apologize for all the inconvenience that you guys had. The thing is, our company struggled a little bit last year, and therefore we had quite some layoffs. We used to be 1,300 people in the company, and we are down to, I don't really know, but below 300, I think.
Much less than it was anyway.
Yeah.
Very much less.
And but Big Farm is still running and will be running for a lot of years still to come. But our team got a little bit smaller. So right now our team contains 2 server developers, 4 client developers, 4 artists, 2 game designers, and 1 balancer. That's like the core team that we have. And we used to be a lot larger, and one of the main problems is that our server developers stopped working here. They had new challenges in different companies, so we had to exchange that team. And since the game is already pretty old, it was tough for the new guys to get actually into the code. And most of the bugs that you encountered in the last couple of weeks and months are server related, and they are actually doing an awesome job to get everything that we are planned into the game, but it just takes a little bit longer, and sometimes errors occur that we didn't anticipate it. And we actually do test a lot. We first put everything on test servers, and we test it internally. We have a huge QA department that's testing everything, and that's what we do before we put it on live. Then we test it on a pre-client first, and then we put it on live. And if it's a larger feature, we actually test it on our beta server as well. But things like with the co-op hard worker events, that's how we got. Yeah. Sorry about that. We have different internal names that we have like on live.
It's very confusing.
Yeah. For that example, we tested everything. Everything looked smooth and right, and then we put it online, and all the rankings got messed up. You actually got negative cooperative rankings, and this wasn't supposed to happen, and we couldn't really figure out because there was no subtraction in the code at all. There can't be any negative numbers, but they always occurred. And they never occurred on our test environment, but they occurred live. So we couldn't fix it because it doesn't happen. And then we think like, well, we tested everything looks fine, and then we put it live again. We started running it, and it went to the not swearing word afterwards.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why it's constantly breaking, and we are trying to fix it. And we are actually putting our main focus in development on fixing bugs. You always get the feedback from the community. Why do you bring so much new stuff? Why don't you just fix our bugs? Actually, more than 50% of the development time we are on bugs. We are trying to fix bugs, getting things smoother. We do a lot of stuff in the background. The game got older and bigger, and the performance is sometimes really bad. So we are working in the background on performance issues as well. So we get the performance running, and yeah, things like that. I kind of lost my thread here where I wanted to go. This just to give you like a broad overview what's actually happening, and we want to bring a good mix of getting old stuff running again, better again, putting new incentives in there, like meaning like new rewards, or putting village happiness on decorations for older events. And on the other hand side, we try to create new mechanics in the game as well, where you can experience new stuff in the game, so that the game is never feeling old. There's always something new coming. We had times where we fixed a lot of bugs, and then we got the feedback from a lot of users, well, it's getting boring, nothing new is coming. Then we put in something new in. Why you're not concentrating on bugs? It's really tough for us to please everybody, but we are really trying our best. And especially the feedback that the moderators collecting from the community and the CMs are passing over to me, this is really good input, and we're trying to put all the input from the community into our features.
Yeah, just to add as a note to that, like one kind of really good example of that is the Worldwide Championship. We actually got a lot of feedback about the first time we ran that event, and I think pretty much all of it ended up going into this run of the event. So it's a really great example of, you know, you guys giving your opinions and then it goes into the game. Like, we can't necessarily do that every time with every piece of feedback that you give. But if you give a good piece of feedback and we can put it in, then we'll always suggest it. And Dennis is always happy and open for suggestions that kind of make sense and work with the game. So
sometimes things get lost in translation. The Worldwide Championship is a good example for that. I promised you guys that there won't be a wheel where you can generate points. And that's what I gave to our balancers. And they say, well, you cannot win directly points there anymore. But they forgot to mention that on the wheel itself, the points you generate are actually translated into points. And I didn't know that. I put that live, and I already got right away the feedback, well, this is messing up again. And well, we stopped it.
Yeah, we were quite quick with that as well, I think. I think that was a really good response from us. Like, we saw the problem, kind of took it out of the game straight away, and we're not running it again like that. So yeah, another really good example.
Sometimes the feedback we get from you guys is something we cannot really do because it's hurting the economy of the game in general. One thing we did to complete the Big Farm world is kind of introducing the deep sea fishing into the game. And in the deep sea fishing, I wanted to have that feature really attractive, so I told my balancer that it should generate a little bit more cash than you can gain on the, is it called flower farm in the game as well? Flower farm.
Third farm, yeah.
On the flower farm, but not that much. I said like 10 to 20% more cash, but it actually went up to 200% more. And that destroyed the whole economy of the game. That's why we had to put stop to that. We didn't have a fix right away, but it was accumulating so much cash that all mechanics didn't work anymore, and the people didn't have any challenges anymore. Yeah, I know it felt really nice and it felt really easy, but if everything comes too easy in a long time, then there's no challenge of the game anymore. So we put a stop to it, thought how we can fix it, and we decided to do the market. And there wasn't enough for you guys. You wanted to sell the fish again. We put it back in there, but with a lot lower price. Right now, when I look at the numbers, the fish market is generating a lot more cash than any other part of the game. So it's still a huge advantage that you have when you compare it to prior to the fishing. But it's not overwhelming everything anymore. And well, it's, I probably that's something I shouldn't say. It felt a little bit like, well, I gave you like this really cool lollipop and then took it away from you guys again, and then just give you like a really little one. And I know it feels bad, but I promise you, it's better for the whole game, and it's not about us wanting to like hurt you or want to earn money or something like that. It's really that the whole economy of the game needs to be fitting together and we needs to work together. Otherwise, it would be not Big Farm anymore, but Big Fish, because everything would resolve around the fishing. Why did we get to the fishing anyhow? I want to talk about that just really shortly.
Fishing then, go for it.
The thing is, when I took over the game was really straightforward. It was more like how one of my game designers said it. It's like an interactive movie because you had to go a straight line through the game and had to do exactly what's asked of you, and you couldn't divert from the plan. And my vision of the game was and is to create a big farm world. That's why we introduced a world map, and we had different environments now for the farms, and we put the horse paddock somewhere different. We introduced the fishing and the co-op village and the next upcoming farm. So it's actually a world where everybody can decide what they want to do. You don't have to do everything, and actually a normal person that has a normal life cannot do everything in Big Farm, and that's intended right now. It's like everybody should play the part in Big Farm which they enjoy the best and not try to do everything. So choose what you like the best, play that. Same thing is with one of the topics that was there, why we have so many events right now. Well, some events are liked more by some people, some events are liked more by other people. So we are putting a lot of events in there, and you guys can choose which kind of event you want to play and which one you don't want to play. It doesn't hurt you if you don't play one event. Just do what you want. And we have a lot of tracking data, and we can see that the most participation in the games, in the events, is the events where the cooperative has to work together. That's the reason why we changed our planning like that we will have from last month until the future, there will more events coming. There's always an event running where the cooperative can work together. So right now it's cooperative hard worker events and cooperative tournament running, and one after the other. But there are other events that come in between. So one thing is next week the goldfish rescue. There's a single player part and the multiplayer part. During that time you won't have the cooperative tournament running. So there's always options that you can play.
Just to backtrack slightly, we were talking about deep sea fishing. So we've done a lot to deep sea fishing lately. We've made quite a few changes. Like you said, we brought back the selling of fish, and we've done a few optimizations there. But we're not completely finished with that, are we? Do you want to just talk about some of the things that might be coming up in future for it, or?
Actually, there's an optimization still planned. We want to optimize the contracts, and we want to bring some sense into the dangers. The dangers are
they're
senseless at the moment. You
Yeah.
don't even have to prepare for the dangers because it doesn't make any sense. There was a totally different mechanic planned, but we didn't have the time to do it. But this is actually delayed to mid of next year. Since, like I told before, we have limited resources, I can go into the roadmap, what's planned. Should we do that now, or maybe a little bit later?
Maybe go into that a little. That would be good, I think.
Okay, so what's the plan for now or for the rest of the year? Right now we are just working on old events, well, including the goldfish rescue that will come next week. So next week the goldfish rescue will come, and a lot of offers will come over the Black Friday and Cyber Monday time. So it's like the Thanksgiving week. It's started in America. It's a huge week for online offers. So we are going with the flow. There's a lot of special offers coming up for you. There will be wheels coming up where you can earn up to 500% bonus on gold purchases. There will be a lot of events running. We will have all the summer activity boni in there, like the fireworks boosters coming, the neighbors are coming in, the horse trainer is coming in. We will have the snowman running, and so it's a lot of stuff going on. And please don't try to play everything. Pick the stuff that you want to do and leave the rest alone. So it's like a huge wall of offers. And we will start with our winter time on Monday. So we switch our background to snow. Oh, there was one question in the past. Why can't we choose if we want to have snow or not? We cannot do that because then the game would have to load everything twice, and it's already really slow. And this will kind of make the game so slow that it's unplayable. So, well, we have to decide when it's winter starting and when it stops. So, and we are deciding winter
we
starting.
We are the weather gods.
Yeah, kind of. So we are starting with winter on the 20th, and therefore the snowman event is coming and stuff like that. And beginning of next month, there will be the advent calendar again with a lot of gifts in there. And we will have the wish list again. We already put a lot of input in there from last year, and now we fixed some stuff as well, so it's current to the game. And during Christmas there will be the Santa's wheel again, where you can like put all the stuff that you don't need in there and get some awesome decorations. Oh yeah, and another thing we just designed, I just got a feedback last week from the community managers that you think the current Wheel of Fortune is really boring and you get all the time the pavilion with it.
Yeah.
And during Christmas time, we will run a new Wheel of Fortune with all kind of Christmas decorations. So you get a lot of different decorations in there than not the normal ones anymore. After that, we will try to get on all of our themed events some extra challenge in there. There will be kind of, we call it speed challenge right now, but that's a working title. So everybody that's finishing the themed events really early and get bored in the rest of the week will have some extra challenges on the next. There will be another map on the next side, on the next page, where you can do some other challenges. So that's already the end of the year. While doing that, we are fixing bugs, of course. And for the next year, we have 2 new themed events coming up. One will be the food truck, that will be for the second farm. And one will be the wedding planner, that will be for the third farm. Both of them probably come in January. I already have some pictures for that.
Let's see some previews.
Well, is that fitting? Yeah, that's the UI for the food truck, so it's kind of the same, but you finally have something.
No, that's the wedding planner.
Oh, it's the wedding planner?
Yeah, that one's the wedding planner. That one's the food truck.
Yeah, okay, well.
Good
That's the food truck, sorry about that. That's the food truck, and that's coming for the second farm.
Yeah.
For the second farm, and therefore you finally have a themed event for the second farm. If it works well, we probably produce more themed events for the second farm as well. And again here, that's for the third farm.
Since we're on scheduling and planning and stuff, we've had a question from the Twitch users.
Yeah.
So they've had the new chat system. They've got a little preview of that on the test server. When can they kind of expect to see more of those features coming into the live servers?
The thing about the chat was it wasn't really complete. It actually had less functions than the old chat, but in a new style. We want to add all the other functions as well that we got feedback for, and it should have at least the functions that the current chat has, but even more. And we need some more development time for that because we ran into some problems with our legacy code there. Therefore, it probably won't come before the beginning of next year.
Okay, awesome. And we also have another question while we're on it. So we may as well start talking about this now, actually. They're asking about the cat on the gourmet farm. So we recently added the cat to all of your farms, and we're aware, obviously, that there have been a few issues in the last few weeks, and we tried to fix it last week, I think, or a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd had it fixed. We put through the test and everything seemed to go fine. But then we've since had reports that some of you are still having some problems collecting charms on the gourmet farm. So when have we got a fix coming from that?
Yeah, well, there's more to it. The cat, you guys waited for the cat like really long, and I always put it on hold because we don't have 3D art in our game. We have 2D art in our game, and doing 2D animation takes really a long time, and therefore we never really had the time to do an animation of the cat. We did a contest for the cat, and we kind of got a nice cat there,
Yeah, we got a really
but
nice cat.
nobody actually did an animation, and therefore I like, okay, if we didn't get an animation, we don't do the cat. And we had a lot of discussions in the team that okay, well, let's do the animation. So therefore we have an animation for a cat now, but the distribution of the cat was really difficult. There was supposed to be another mechanic in there where you get a lot more cat charms, but that never made it into the game because we had so many errors in there that we couldn't fix it in time before we had to start working on our Christmas features. Therefore, when we put it live, there was another mistake or error or bug that you couldn't collect. Some people couldn't collect on the gourmet farm. We fixed it right away, but the fix didn't apply to the people that already built it up. So we needed to fix that again. So the only way to fix that is to take away the cat tree, and the people have to build it up again. But we didn't track for what people actually worked and for what people didn't work. So we had to take it away for everybody. And then we put it back on, and the mistake was there again, or the bug was there again. And like I explained before, on our test servers, everything worked fine. So, but now we have like a real fix. Well, supposedly we tested it really good. And on Monday, on our update, we will fix the gourmet farm bug, and everything should work fine. And we took the time from when you build it up to the 1st of November when we took it away. That time frame, what's possible for you to actually collect cat charms, and you will be credited those cat charms. It will be up to 650,000 cat charms. Some people will only get 4,000, depending on how what was the time frame and what's your charm collecting power, kind of. But more than that, because there was so much trouble with the cat tree, we want to help you actually get to the cat itself a lot faster. So starting from next Monday, for 10 days, the cat charms will drop from almost every building, and the drop chances are a lot higher than before. So if you do exactly the stuff where the charms drop, you can actually get it done in those 10 days.
So it should be about, what was it, up to 5 to 10 times more?
It's 6.4 times more.
6.4. There you go. Very precise. Thanks for that. Okay, great. Yeah, we have a couple more Twitch questions here. Yeah, so do you want to start talking about some new features, maybe the new farms and things that are coming up?
Okay, well, the new farm, the idea was there already 2 years ago, and we started planning it 1.5 years ago. But then we had more urgent topics that we are working on right now, and we had to push it back. Then we had shrink to the team. It got a lot smaller, and therefore we couldn't. Before it was a plan like one part of the team is working on the fourth farm, and one part is doing like the normal work, like exchanging your rewards and doing like the daily stuff, having the themed events and like Easter and Christmas and stuff. So that doesn't work. So we needed to handle it somehow. But we actually started with the development of the fourth farm. The artwork is pretty far by now, and at the moment the plan is to put it on beta by end of February. I brought some pictures we already have from the fourth farm.
Very nice.
So the fourth farm will be a volcano island. You already see the volcano in the background. This will be the background of the farm. Can you see that? All right. And you will have to help and rescue animals on that farm, and there will be a lizard where which you have to take care of. Yeah. And what's that like? This is a kind of fish. I don't know the English word for it. It's like this killer whale.
Killer whale.
Yeah,
orca, I think.
Orca. Yeah, orca.
Yeah.
And a vulture. And probably like most, little tiger.
That's gonna be awesome.
And this will be the new character for the volcano island. Here you see some of the decorations that will come there. And well, your eyes are probably not that interesting for you, but this will give you already a hint that you have to make it work. You have to bring stuff from your mainland, from the other farms, over the jetty, over to the volcano farm, and to build things up. So it will be quite challenging, but a lot of interesting stuff. And to actually get to the volcano farm, there will be a treasure hunt beforehand. So you will have to collect map parts to find the way to the volcano farm and to actually reach it. So there's a huge quest line, a huge story behind it. There will be a lot of mechanics that you already know. There will be orchards, there will be acres, a nursery, there will be residentials and workers. So it's not everything new, so you have some old parts, but there will be the new parts as well, like taking care of the animals, having a feed kitchen there to actually cook meals for them, and at the end you're releasing them through an animal gate into freedom again, and you will get reward for that. The plan is, as rewards, should I already talk about? Well, it will be something where you can actually increase the power on all of your old farms by getting some, I don't know how it's called later in the game, will be some gems, magical items that you can put into existing buildings to boost them or get some new effect out of it.
Okay, awesome. So we have more questions from Twitch. Will the prices for equipment be lowered since the amount of farm dollars earned has been low? So this is, I think, it's kind of coming back to some of the deep sea stuff we were talking about.
To the fishing.
Before. Yeah. So they're asking, will the prices for equipment ever go down?
No, the price for equipment won't go down. Maybe some of them will go down, some will go up. There will be a new balancing in there. But right now, you guys are earning huge amounts of farm dollars from the fishing, as it is already. So
there's actually some of our users have been really fantastic with this feature as well, because there's a user, I think he's on the English forums, and he made a calculator for the deep sea fishing, which I thought was absolutely great. You guys have obviously been really into that, and you can, you've got a lot of resources out there that you can use to even boost you up even further.
If you upgrade your market, the fish market, get it to the higher levels, you will earn millions of farm dollars a day.
Yeah, it's very, very possible to do.
In the beginning, it's a little bit frustrating, and sometimes you actually do minus, but after a few upgrades, it will boost a lot.
Yeah, so it's an initial loss, but then...
I have a negative thing I have to say. I will do it right there because it comes hand to hand in there. A lot of stuff is balanced right from the start of Big Farm, so 5 years ago, and the economy changed a lot, and you guys earn like 10 times, sometimes 100 times more cash through all the events, through the activity rewards, and through the new features. So there's a huge inflation there, how much in-game currency or farm dollars you earn. But we never really changed the buy prices of products. So that's something that will come up. We will change in the farm management. At the moment, it's like 10 times more when you buy something than selling. That will increase by a lot, because right now a lot of people are evading playing events by just buying it, because they are just earning through the fishing so much cash that they don't even need to produce stuff anymore. But we don't want people like that. That's kind of like cheating, but we are providing you the cheating. So we want to like there were like several things we can do, but the easiest way would be that we just raise the prices for products in the farm management, that you actually have to produce them to fulfill quests and events.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's big farm, not big fish in the end, and we kind of want to go back to the big farm side of things, I think, rather than the very fishing heavy kind of way it's been lately. Okay, oh, that's an interesting one. So we have another question from Twitch. We always said none of our animals would be killed or eaten in the farms. Why have we changed that policy? I guess this is in relation to the volcano farm.
No, I think it's like kind of to the fish thing.
Oh, the fish thing. Yeah, that would make
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like kind of vegetarians sometimes eat fish.
Sometimes.
So I don't know. It was really tough to continue to get new aspects into the game without doing that to the fish. We will still be for the mammals that we are not doing it, so we don't do ground beef out of the pigs. And it will continue on the forest farm, on the volcano farm, that you're actually saving animals and not killing any. So with the fish, we made an exception. Well, if you don't like that, just don't play the fishing.
Okay, so we were talking a little about testing things on the test server earlier. So we have our own internal test servers where we test things, but as many of you probably know, we have a test server that you guys can test things on as well. And we've been putting that to a bit more use lately, which I think you guys have quite appreciated. And we have a question from Twitch which is directly related to this. Would it be possible to implement new events onto the test server before going live? Is that something we can do constantly, or is...
Yeah, actually that's something we want to do and we always wanted to do, but there were some technical problems in there and problems in the process. But we actually changed the process just a couple of weeks ago, and for larger features it's mandatory that we put it on the beta server first. So if there's a new feature coming that has new mechanics in there, we will always put it on beta first, test it there before we... Oh, never say always. We try to put it always on beta first and then put it live. If we encounter issues or we think that it might occur on a larger scale that we cannot test on our internal test servers, we will put it on beta first as well. But we won't do it for every single little feature, because it takes a lot of effort to put it there and test it there, and we don't just put it there to be there, but we need to evaluate that, take the input, do something with that, and that takes a lot of time, which we don't have always.
And that kind of leads into, so talking about the test server, that's part of our new production process, which we were discussing recently.
Right.
Do you want to just tell them a little bit about what some of the kind of new things that are in there, some of the changes that we're making internally?
Yeah, I don't know if that's that interesting, but I can tell. One thing we didn't do in the past that we started doing is we doing a balancing concept. Well, you should think that should be always there, but our balancers always did it on the fly. But now we actually do a concept of that. We are testing the concept, and then it comes back. We redo it and then implement it. So because a lot of bugs that happened in this year were balancing related, so we are trying to put more focus on that. The next thing is we will do for features after the developers are done, a team testing, play this whole thing around, give the feedback back to the developers, take another round from there, and then we put it on the test server to let you test it. Then it comes back again, we adjust it, and then we want to put it on live.
Okay, so we've got another question from Twitch. This one's about events. So why are big events like Oktoberfest or the WWDC
I'm already at the next question there.
Yeah.
So can we skip that first?
Okay, so
what's
skip
a
one.
space unicorn?
What is a space unicorn? This is a YouTube channel that I used to work for, and this is my lucky filming hat, so I'm wearing it today. So we'll have good luck.
Okay, what was?
So yeah, we'll go back to the last question. Events like Oktoberfest or Worldwide Championship. They're asking why they're so difficult. Why aren't they designed so that normal players of an average level, of an average kind of play time, can't get right to the end, get every single reward?
Okay, we have a lot of different players. We have hundreds, thousands of players worldwide, and everybody has a different pace. Some people like to play Big Farm for hours a day. Some people just play it a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening. And we want to make all the events interesting for all of the players. Therefore, we need to put in activity rewards even for really high scores, because those players need to have goals and next incentives as well. Don't try to get all the activity rewards. The top activity rewards are normally for players that don't sleep and probably spend some money as well to actually get those rewards. But if we cut the activity rewards earlier, you don't get more, but those people don't have any challenges anymore. That's why it's really tough to actually get the top rewards. I think that's kind of it.
I think that kind of covers it, yeah. Okay, have you got any other kind of particular topics you want to talk about, stuff that's coming up?
Well, let's see on the paper or we...
We've already talked about Volcano Farm and the new themed events. Do you want to talk a little about the goldfish rescue, or should we leave that for patch notes?
No, I can talk about the goldfish rescue, but we were at the roadmap early on when we stopped.
Yeah.
So what will happen in January? We said we have the 2 new themed events. Afterwards, there will be again the Chinese New Year. And next year it's probably interesting for a lot of you guys, because I've seen that you like the dogs. So next year is the year of the dogs. That will be a really nice decoration there. And Valentine's Day will be really kitschy again. And
beautiful.
Beautiful, that's what I mean. And afterwards, St. Patrick's Day will come again. So we are all set that we have like every month at least one thing that's kind of special. It's more like 2 things a month. It's something special that don't occur every month. And well, then the volcano farm. And then it gets a little bit blurry. So we have a plan, we have a vision there, but that could change depending on what's the situation in the game. If you guys feel like, well, this is needed, or we see there's a problem, it changed. But at the moment, we have the plan to have a better guidance in the game, better quest system in the game. So the start of the game, the tutorial and the quests are still based on the game how it was like 5 years ago. So we want to change that to the current Big Farm world, that all the new players and your new cooperative mates will have a really good introduction to the game and know what it's all about. The next thing is we want to put in some convenient features, because some people, like I said, you shouldn't, but some people really want to play everything. So there will be some features into the game that help you actually play the farms faster, so you can concentrate on the events. Something like click a button and you harvest everything. Something like that. Things like that will happen. And at the end of next year, we want to try to create some platforms in the game where you can actually provide how you call it? Well, let me talk game content for other players. Like we are planning to do more with the horse paddock, where actually every player can build up their own stadium and hold races, championships for other players. So we want to try to get you guys more close together and help each other. Well, talking about bugs now, the screen just went dead. I hope you guys still can still see me. Well, this is our microphone that we're using right now, and actually we have like a couple of €1,000 worth of microphones standing there. It's not working, so
Yeah, we had a really fun time trying to get everything set up and working.
yeah. Well, that's the plan for next year. And then I'll go a step back to talk about what's coming next week.
Aha, yes.
So we will have the goldfish rescue, and I have like a little slideshow to show you what's going to happen.
Oh, please, have we got the Big Farm music in the background right now? This is perfect.
So here you see the new ice. Well, there, that's the new ISO building for the goldfish rescue that opens up this UI, and it's kind of she's collecting goldfish. How does she collect goldfish? There will be drops on the farm that drop this little fleece here, and yes, the fireworks booster boosts that fleece as well. Then you get them into the inventory. Yeah. Oh yeah, in the inventory, well, let me go back. Yes, and then there you actually create a bait. This bait you have to equip and then use it in the deep sea fishing, in the fishing mini game. If you do that, the goldfish will appear and you will actually catch goldfish. Those goldfish will appear in the goldfish glass on the event. Now what you have to do is you have to produce in the mill food for the goldfish. After you produce gold for the goldfish, well, you can see, well, let me go one step back. Here you see you're not generating any points because the fish are starving. Afterwards, when you produce food for the goldfish, you will actually generate points. Then you can see down here, the more goldfish you have and the more points you generate, the more happiness and village happiness you generate. And you can get another village happiness for the decoration from the effort from your cooperative. So that's kind of the thing. It's a single player part, it's a multiplayer part, and you get the goldfish either by fishing them yourself in the mini game, or you send out Oleg to get them. It's like kind of for free-ish when you do it in the mini game, but you can pay farm dollars or gold to send Oleg away. That's just the first part out of it. This goldfish rescue will run every month, and between the goldfish rescue event, there will be a pond on the coop farm where everybody from your cooperative will like empty their glass of goldfish that will be put in there, and this pond will generate village happiness for your whole cooperative. But the goldfish need food, otherwise they will starve and you will lose the goldfish, you will lose the happiness. Therefore, the more goldfish the cooperative rescues, the more they have to take care of it, but the more they take care of it, the more village happiness they will generate.
Yeah, so some of you were actually really keen-eyed and noticed that one of the ponds on the village had disappeared. Like we got, I think, 2 or 3 comments about that. This is the reason why. So if you were wondering, that's where the new goldfish pond is going to be in the village. So congrats if you figured that out. Well done if you noticed. And yeah, so we have another question from Twitch. Oh, there was one that was there and it's missing. Hold on. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So the village points. What are the village points all about? Village happiness points.
What are the village happiness points?
Yeah. I mean, like one of the pieces of feedback that we've been getting is that players want more of them in various aspects of the game recently. I think we've kind of done some of that in some of the events. We've thrown extra village happiness in there, but
okay, what is the village happiness for? The village happiness is for the co-op village, and there you reduce costs for gold and for other aspects in the co-op village. You have to upgrade with gold or with some other products, and the requirements are lower and lower the more village happiness you have. We will probably use the village happiness for other stuff as well in the future. Like right now, the Alliance League is, how can I say that without turning like crappy? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
okay.
kind of crappy at the moment, and we will do. We have already rework for that, but we are not coming to that this year. But in that rework, the village happiness will play a major role as well.
Okay, great, awesome. Okay, we have another question from Twitch. So why is the fishing hard work event based on fishing XP when the dockyard upgrade and the boats and stuff like that is based on normal XP? So why do we have these kind of two separate values?
The reason why we had fishing XP and normal XP is so the people won't do the kind of the wrong thing in the beginning. So if we had only fishing XP for everything building up, the people could like start Big Farm, go right away into the fishing part and just do everything from the fishing, and they might miss out a lot of fun from other parts if you just concentrate on fishing. Therefore, we had the normal XP level for the fishing as well. And then to go further from that, go from the fishing XP. So if people like kind of enjoy the fishing more, they can progress there even further without progressing somewhere else.
Okay, cool. We touched on it, or we were about to touch on it slightly at the beginning, but I think it's worth just quickly talking about the outage from yesterday. Just if we could just kind of explain what happened, what it was all about, why it happened, because it wasn't just us that was affected in Big Farm.
Well, there was a problem with our DNS, and actually all our games went offline. So we needed to move to a new DNS, and that took a little bit of a while, and that's why everything was down. Just like as simple as that, and as horrible as it was.
Yeah, it was completely unexpected and very, very sudden for all of us. So we just kind of had a little panic mode yesterday. But
the connection there is, at the moment, all of our events that have a cooperative ranking in there always crash when we have a downtime with our servers, and we cannot find the bug. This was created from our previous server developers, and our new server developers cannot find it. And since it's only happening on live and not on our test servers, we cannot figure that out. That's why we have really limited time slots for hot fixes and for updates. And like yesterday, something happened again. The crates resetted, and the ranking is not showing anymore. But from what I've got to know from our server developers, the ranking is still intact, but it's just shown wrong. So all the rewards at the end should be distributed right, but not the way you see it right now, but how you earned it actually.
Okay. Another question we've been getting a lot lately is about Lester. There used to be a little quest for Lester where he'd show up to your farm and offer, if you completed so many contracts and then spent so much gold, you would get some rewards back. Players haven't seen him for a little while. Can we say something about that?
Yeah, of course. I deactivated it 2 months ago. There was a huge error in there that caused a lot of trouble. It ended for the people earlier, so they didn't get anything. Some people didn't get anything even they finished it. And I thought it's not really worth fixing it right now, because we have other things that are more important than having this gold-related offer fixed.
Okay, awesome. Do we have any more Twitch questions there? Okay, so this is again related to the contracts on the fish market. So the question is, why does the fish market always ask for a lot of oyster, shrimp, and clam? Is there any kind of specific reason for that, or?
Yeah, it's really the people that are actually buying at the fish market are really gourmets, and that's why.
So they just really enjoy shellfish.
Yeah, no. the balancing is a little bit off, but at the moment I don't want to fix it. Well, I would like to fix it, but I put my resources on different things right now. Because you guys are already generating a lot of cash through the fish market, so it's not really worth fixing it right now, because even so it's annoying, and sometimes you have to wait really long to fulfill a contract because it's always asking for the same thing, and when you actually fish, it's something that you fish the least. But since we allow you to sell the fish anymore, that like the extra products that you don't need you can sell anyhow, and just use the little products for the fish market, the oyster, the shrimp, and the clam. That will be fixed, but not be fixed this year.
Okay. So yeah, since we're on fishing,
actually, it's called Big Farm.
Yeah, well. But since we're on deep sea fishing, there's actually something I wanted to mention about this, because there's a little kind of shortcut that a lot of people don't know about, which is when you're equipping.
What?
Yeah.
You want to tell what shortcuts?
Yeah.
All right.
It's if you hold the shift key while you're equipping your boat, you don't need to constantly like click and drag equipment onto the boat. Yeah, it's just something the developers put in there to save themselves a bit of time. But a lot of people don't know about this, and it's actually really handy, so you should try it next time you're deep sea fishing. But this kind of brings us on to the next question about kind of saving time. People are asking if there's a possibility to add presets for equipping boats, so that you could already have, rather than having to every time set it up, you could have a preset available and then just send that boat out.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I will have to ask the developers how much time that needs. If it's not that much, that's something we could do in January. But beginning of next year, let's call it beginning of next year. Until Christmas, we cannot actually put any of your wishes in there right now because we are totally packed.
Yeah, I mean, it's up till kind of April, really, isn't it, that we've got a lot of things?
There is little room for little stuff in the beginning of next year, but only stuff that just can be done in a couple of days, but nothing with new mechanics. And, well, this is a new mechanic, but it could be really easy to do. I have some thoughts about it, but I have to talk about that with the developers. I cannot promise something, but I will definitely put that on my list.
Awesome, that's great. Yeah, do we have any more Twitch questions coming through, or?
There's something else on.
Have you got any more?
I don't know.
Is there anything else you want to cover particularly? Is there anything you feel like you haven't?
No, I think we touched kind of everything.
Yeah, we've kind of been fairly thorough with it, I think. Okay, yeah, I think then that's pretty much it, unless you've got...
Really? Well, did you filter too much? I don't know, it's like, either it's like almost nobody there, or maybe you're just talking to like one person or our team. I'm not so much talking to the moderators, but I sometimes do, and community managers tell me stuff, and from what I got to know is that the mood is not the best right now. I hoped I shed some light into the reasons why we cannot act as good and fast as you want us to be. And I hope you understood that I really sincerely apologize for all the bugs and problems we cause. We are not doing that on purpose. We really try to help you. And there were no question about like critical questions. I was thinking of more like I'm not asking myself.
Yeah,
now
do you want to ask yourself some questions?
No. Maybe I should touch some of them. So the thing is about a lot of times people are saying in the forums, well, you just want to milk us, you want to shut down the game, and you just want to get as much money out of us, and that's absolutely not true. But since nobody asked that now, I still feel I should touch that topic. We always have some mechanics in our new features where you can spend gold on it. and of course we do. It's our business model. We are providing the game for free and earning money with the people that want to shortcuts or want to have something really convenient and therefore pay for it. But you should be able to play and have fun with all our features without paying. But you never will be able to reach like the top activity rewards unless you don't sleep and things like that. Don't try to reach that. This is for the people that want to spend some money, want to help us with our development, and for those players we have those rewards in there as well. The next thing is we have a lot of plans for next year, and we actually have visions for the next 5 years already for Big Farm. So it's definitely not planned to shut down Big Farm. We love the game, we love you guys, and we want to continue with that. I had it on my chest.
Yeah.
I need to.
No, that's okay, because that kind of came up recently, especially with the release of Big Farm Mobile Harvest. There were some people who thought that maybe that meant Big Farm was going to stop, but that's not the case at all.
We should touch that as well.
Yeah.
There are two different teams for Harvest Mobile and for Big Farm Web. We work together in the beginning. They're using our art assets. They use our general mechanic of the game, but they're developing in a different direction, just mainly because everything on Big Farm cannot be put on mobile. One thing is like it's too hardware pressures, it's too much hardware pressure there, and people play on mobile differently. They have shorter session times, they have different mechanics. There's some things I actually like on Harvest Mobile better than on web, but you don't have the complexity and all the variety and all the events that you have on web right now. There are some things I really enjoy. One thing is like there's just one button there with where all the offers are and not like the 1,000 pop-ups. When I don't log in for a day, I have like 1,000 pop-ups in Big Farm. This is terrible, and we know it's terrible. We don't change something right now there, but there will come change that you don't have so much pop-ups, so much offers there all the time, because we want you guys to be able to log off and on and not click through 1,000 things again. Didn't you have like the question like dangerous question or something?
Up slightly, yeah. The question was
let me read it first before like.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Okay. Why don't we have a confirmation button for buy gold?
Yeah. So in Big Farm Mobile Harvest, some of you might have noticed that there's a little setting in the menu where you can decide, if you spend more than say 50 gold, it will come up with a screen that says, "Are you sure?" and let you confirm it. So. Yeah,
it's a little bit different for web and for mobile. On web, it's a lot easier to accidentally click on, press on something, buy something, and that we don't have on web. And it's kind of, yeah. In sales, you normally don't ask a second time a person, "Do you really want to spend money?" So. I know it would be convenient, and that's why we put the delay on there on the buy thing. I will think about something that we put maybe a confirmation button for larger spendings, but not for the convenient spendings, especially when you, I don't know, wildflower skip, wildflower skip, wildflower skip. If every time there was a second question, "Do you really want to skip? Do you really want to spend it?" then it's just senseless. So maybe we put something in there with a limit, like I don't know, if you spend more than 100 gold or something like that. We have to think about it, and we might do it when we do the convenient features in the middle of next year.
Okay. So one more question. The broken cat trees. I think we've kind of already covered this a little.
Yeah, maybe that person came a little bit later. I'm happy to say that again. We will have a fix on Monday, and everything will be bright and shiny.
Awesome. Yeah, and we've also got the cat charm madness, which is coming up. So you'll be able to collect all the cat charms and really boost up the amount that you're able to get in a very, very short amount of time. So, yeah, let's do one more then. Is there any ETA from when Big Farm will move from Flash to HTML5?
Well, that's kind of one of the reasons why the fourth farm didn't come yet, because at the same time we wanted to start with the fourth farm, with the Volcano farm. All the big browsers announced that they want to stop supporting Flash. So we cut our team in half, and we have a large team working on Big Farm and Empire or other game to convert it to HTML5. And we are on a really good track. We already have a playable version there, but the performance is not as good yet. But we are working on it, and it's probably coming around spring next year. So we do a lot of testing. Only when everything works perfectly, we will switch to HTML5. Then you can actually play Big Farm on your tablet or phone as well.
All right, awesome. So yeah, we'll call it a wrap for there. Thank you so much, Dennis, for joining us, for answering all the questions and talking about the game. Thank you guys very much for joining us. It's been really, really fun. I really hope we can do more of these.
Just one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm not sure if we're doing this regularly. We might, but you can always reach us, and you can reach us by asking questions in the forum. Go directly to your moderator, say this is something that's like burning, and I really need to do something. The moderators are in direct contact always to our CMs, and sometimes I get the time to read it as well. So we are reading your comments in the forum. We are trying to put the things in our roadmap. We are trying to include your wishes into everything. And if you have questions, please do that over the forums, over the moderators. We are always trying to help.
Yeah, please do. Like Dennis said, they are always in contact with us in community management. So anytime you pass them feedback, it does come directly to us. So yeah, please write your comments, make your suggestions. We can't put everything in, but we will always try to put things in when it makes sense to do it, and when we have the time and resources, to be able to do it. Okay, so yeah, again, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. I want to say a big thank you to my colleagues who helped set all of this up. Also, a big thank you to the moderator team, not just for the job that they do generally, but they've also been helping in the chat tonight as well. And yeah, hopefully we can do another one of these soon. We'll kind of let you know more details about that. We've got some patch notes coming up for the next update that's coming out, so keep an eye out for those. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, I want to say thank you as well, especially for you guys that you actually took the time to listening to us babbling around for an hour, and that it's that important for you. The game is that important to you that you want to listen to us and trying to hear what we wanted to say, and as so we are trying to hear what you are saying. So thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.